Hey guys, what's happening? So in the previous video I did where I covered the OB7 patch notes, it seemed that video did pretty well. So here we are. I'm going to be covering the OB8 patch notes. They're finally the patch is not live yet. That won't be pushed out until Monday, but I'm here and I'm going to be covering the patch notes that we will be seeing Monday. So here we go. I've already seen the majority of this already, but I still want to cover it and give my 2 cents for you guys. So I have some complaints, honestly. All right, so this is just talking about Kali when she comes out. You guys can go watch Kurt's reaction if you guys want to see that. Weaken. So skins, all this. We don't care about any of this. This talks about the new God Builder, which I'm personally not that much of a fan of, honestly. Okay, let's go down. Go down. Some conquest changes. Go watch that on our VOD if you guys want. I have no. They did actually. Me and Broly actually did mention this at one point. They removed They you could. We were complaining about how we were never able to get rid of meditation cloak in assault. So now you can sell that. So that's nice. All right. So we're gonna start with the god balances. I'm gonna do a little quick over here because, like I said, I've already seen a majority of this, but I'll do a little opinion on this. So Cupid nerf, I don't like this. Decrease initial hit damage scaling from 30% strength plus 30% int to 15 strength to 15 intelligence. I don't like that. They did something. I mean, this is the with the aspect of love. This is with Cupid aspect, but still, I don't like this because this is one of the few ways damage Cupid can box with a tank, and they're nerfing it. I don't like this. I hate this. They also decreased the explosion damage from 30% strength plus, yeah, they nerfed it to 15 and 15 across the board right there. Share the love, decreased base damage from 80 at level 1 to 200. Okay, yep, they nerfed that as well. Don't like that. They're basically ruining one of the only ways to box a tank as damage Cupid, which was with the aspect. I don't like that. Soulback is getting a shift. Let's be honest, it's just a buff. I don't care what we want to say. You should never increase the the base damage numbers, the flat damage on a tank. You should never do that. They increased the charge of prey on the aspect at 230 late game to 245. They also increased the scaling. Not a fan of that. They did decrease the dot damage you do, but doesn't matter too much. This doesn't matter too much. I mean, that's a big flat decrease right here on his ultimate, but at the end of the day, no one's gonna use this. No one's gonna use this. Like, why? The pluck is too valuable. All right, moving on. Emoji buff, I love this. I love the emoji aspect. Moonstrike, inner hit scaling is getting increased up to 85. That's nice. Same with Mending Waters, they're increasing up to 65. I appreciate that. I was actually really upset when they nerf Yamoja aspect. So yeah. Now this is the shit that pisses me off. One second, guys. Alright, so I don't like this. They're buffing Hercules, mitigate wounds, increase protections from 5 to 25 plus 15% of protections, late game from items to 10 to 30 plus 20% late game. Don't like this. I don't know why they're buffing this. I know why. Their excuse is because they're actually readjusting the item balancing on a lot of protection items later on, but I will literally talk about why none of that matters. further in the video. Just stick around till the end. Alright, so they also increase the base damage. Again, I will always say this. Do not buff the base damage on tanks. You're going to make damage dealers feel like they're not going to be able to outtrade a damage dealer. They increased his they kept his late game base damage, and they increased his early game base damage. It was 280. It was 400. It was 100, it was 520. 640. Now they increased it up to 320, 430, 540, 650. Why, Hi-Rez? Tell me that you are not listening. Hercules is already insane. He will not be affected by these quote-unquote balances. Moving on. Honor buff. Impale. Increased damage. That's nice. They also decreased the cooldown by 1. That's nice. Disperse. Increased base damage from 70 early game to 230. So they also increased it. Okay. 250 late game. Nice. Don's Burrow. They increased the healing per tick. I'm probably just gonna... I'm gonna be real. I'm probably just gonna run tank Don's Burrow and laugh at my enemy because tanks are still going to be OP. Increased base damage, gain from attacking out of leaf form. This is nice, but doesn't matter. Neith buff, this is nice. She's one of the only gods in the game right now that can actually do damage outside of Bari. Vulcan's probably the only exception, assuming you're able to hit late game. So the backflip is nice. Agni. They listen to feedback here, by the way. This is one of the things that Weekend and a couple other people has mentioned. Your basic attacks now ignite enemies, dealing damage over time and stacking 5 times. Flame, wave, and rain. Yeah, we already know about that part. But the thing is, this right here, the stacking 5 times, that was, to get the full value out of the aspect, it was 8 stacks. Now you can, now you should be able to get the stacks a lot more easier. So this is very nice. I like this. Alright, moving on. Item balance. So, Tierfing. So this is another thing too. They're lowering a lot of protection items in the game, right? But they didn't completely listen to all the feedback. But they did say, I don't want to, completely smack talk Hi-Rez here. They did say in the Titan Talk that they plan on pushing further of the feedback that they heard from PTS, from like Weekend and all them, in the OB9 patch. So there's that to consider there. But anyways, that's just basically another month we still got to deal with. Anyways, Tierfing. You're going to build this on your tanks. Attack speed doesn't matter. 50 strength doesn't matter. Base attacks deal 15 bonus physical damage. Hitting God with base attacks increase the damage this deals by 15 for 4 seconds, stacking 1 time, plus 1 per 4 levels. This is a flat amount. So you're just going to be able to build this on your Amaterasu, your Bologna. Your tanks are still going to be able to take full advantage of this because it doesn't scale off strength. It scales off level. It's a flat amount, so obviously your tanks are going to be able to abuse this. Alright, Rage. This doesn't matter. This is going to be dog shit. It only has 30 strength. That's pathetic. That's pathetic, dude. That's only 30 strength. And this one right here. Ancient Signet, passive. Okay. You see the problem here? It scales per level. It has an internal cooldown, but it doesn't matter because for every minion kill or assist, the cooldown's reduced by 2 seconds. That's dog shit. I don't like this. Your tanks are going to be able to abuse this as well. You're going to want to build this with a specific protection shred item. All right. Bancrofts. This is nice, but doesn't matter. Berserkers. They removed the health regen. And they decreased the attack speed. They didn't change this, by the way. They did not change this. This is one of the biggest gripes a lot of people had. While below 60% health, you become Berserk for 8 seconds. While Berserk, you gain 50% protections from items and 25% attack speed. This effect can only occur once every 8 seconds. You're basically going to be getting like almost 100, maybe... my math might not be mathing here, but maybe 200 extra protections from this alone. Like, this is so dumb. I don't like this. That's dumb. All right. Next, Bloodbound Book. They buffed the lifesteal. They also buffed the passive. 80% intelligence to 100%. Doesn't matter because they are nerfing int all around. They reduced the cooldown reduction for whenever you get kills by 25%. The overall cooldown is 80 now. Doesn't matter. Same with Bloodforge. Doesn't matter. But Kathoth, I hate this. So you're getting a little measly 20 intelligence and 100 mana on evolution instead of the flat pin. You remove the only flat pin on mages. Nice high res. You can smell my balls. Bracer, they increased the stacks from 6 to 8, which is already a mediocre item, and it's probably even more dog shit now, because you can't stack this item on jungle creeps or minion creeps. So you can't get this unless you're hitting a god. So this item has become even worse. It was mediocre, now it's even dog shit, in my opinion. Max health, they nerf, no, this is a buff. They also increased the Xerxes Hexstone's damage, and it scales off your current HP instead of the enemies now, so you can run a full health build and do extra damage with health items. Dagger Frenzy, they nerfed this bad boy, which is not good. Up to 6 basic attacks, but they reduce the strength down to 35. Not good. Deathbringer, dog shit. Death Metal, dog shit. Demon Blade, dog shit. You guys can pause the video. I'm gonna kind of skim through this a little bit. Devos, they remove. Okay. So this item now provides 5 strength and 7% lifesteal on evolution instead of the flat pin. Dog shit. You're removing another flat pin item with barely any flat pin in the early game anyways. Early game is dog shit for damage dealers. Arrow's Bow. You're still going to want to build this on your Bologna if you want. I think this item is heavily slept on in my opinion. I run it on my Bologna almost quite literally all the time in my Joust games. So... oh, you thought I was going to say ranked. Sorry, I have no reason to play ranked. I have no incentive to, so yeah. Anyways, Eye of the Storm. They removed the physical protection, but buffed the magical protection up by 20. Dog shit. I hate this. Genji's. Decreased cooldown from 30 to 20. Heaven Radiance. This is getting even stronger. Nemean Lion. This is just a direct buff. It's just straight up at Thorns now. Like, you're literally going to have this. Why, dude? I hate this. You're going to have this up every team fight now. You're going to have this up every team fight. 60 seconds ain't nothing. You're already building Jay's Scepter in your tank mage build, so you can quite literally run this in your mage builds and you'll be fine. Linearian Bow, this is a nice change. I like this a lot actually, but unfortunately, doesn't matter. There's no power in the game. Okay, Leviathan's High. This item no longer stacks twice, but instead has a new effect. Enemies who hit you with base attacks lose 10% strength for 4 seconds, and you gain 1 max health permanently. This is actually pretty good. I think this is really, really good, actually. But the only downside to this is the only way mages and hunters and even like your ability hunters or your assassins, right? Heartseeker, Soul Reaver, Kins, they do health % damage now. They're actually true health % damage now. But You're not gonna want to build this if you don't. If you want to outtrade the quote unquote damage on the enemy team, don't build this. Just build pure protection items, and you'll be fine. Nibble ring. Nah, this is still ass. This is still ass. No one cares. They nerfed my baby pendulum blade. It's still gonna be somewhat good though. Yeah, I don't really like this. Kins! You can pause that if you want to read this. They just reworked it to do pure bonus damage to, enemies with health. So, serrated. They did nothing with serrated edge. Honestly, you might want to build this on your damage, since all other strength items have gotten nerfed. Soul Gem. They decrease the passive healing. They also massively decrease the intelligence on Soul Gem as well. Same thing with Soul Reaver. They reworked it to be a health shred item. Spirit Robe. I actually think you're gonna probably want to build this into a heavy CC comp all the time. Honestly, just build this in almost any comp and you'll be okay. Up against your Thanatos, your Cerberus, your Ares, your any comp that has hard CC, you will now be having synergy with Heroism. So you're basically recovering your health while they're eating through your Heroism shield. Wow, cool. Stone of Binding. This is going to be one of those things I mentioned, but I'm going to mention, by the way. Stone of Binding is going to be crazy. Alright. Stone and Binding's been gonna be crazy. I need a drink, hold on. Alright, so they decreased the cost. Like, this is I don't know what to think, man. This is just a fucking buff, man. This is just a buff to Stone and Binding. They made Stone and Binding cheaper. They these protections are still really high, because you're just gonna be buffing these protections that are shredded by XE or any of the pin items, because of the way Berserkers is. This is what it currently is right now, and then you have this is the new thing: enemy gods hit by your hard CC effects lose 5 physical protection and 5 magical protection for 4 seconds, stacking up to 4 times. If you have 150 or more protections from items, apply 2 stacks at a time. Keep in mind, guys. This is so stupid. Tanks are already easily capping above 150 protections. Easily. See, what I've been doing is I build prosthetic, and then I like going into some kind of a hybrid tank damage item. Like, you're gonna easily be able to get this, especially with Berserkers now. Oh, and since whenever you take hard CC, you're gonna have the healing and the extra protections from Spirit Robe as well to increase this even further. This is so dumb. I'll talk about this further here in a bit. All right, Transcendence, same thing. They removed the flat pin, and gave it more strength and mana. You're not gonna want to build this. Typhon's Fang, they increased the healing and increased intelligence from lifesteal multiply. Okay, no one cares. All right, so these are the additional changes. This is where I'm gonna pop off here. All right, I'm gonna start going off a tangent. I'm gonna try to control myself here though. Executioner now applies piercing on successful base attacks to the target. Piercing now reduces physical and magical protection by 6% per stack. Stacks up to 4 times. Now, here's the reason why this is so stupid. You probably see that they're doing exactly what I was saying. They're reducing protections across the board down here, right? But that doesn't matter, because this right here is going to literally counteract all of this. Okay? Now listen. Watch. This is what's going to happen. We're going to be literally in the same spot where we were at. Right now, the current Executioner, when you damage an enemy god or jungle boss with a base attack, gain the piercing effect, granting you 6% penetration for 4 seconds, stacking out to 4 times. That only counts for the god that is proccing this. So your carry, like your on her. Your on her is the only one getting the benefits out of penetration right now. Now here's the issue. You literally run this on, you're going to want to run Execution now, because this means this is global, not exclusive to the god anymore. So you're going to want to build this on your Amaterasu, your Bologna, right? You're going to want to run on all of them. You could and then Totem Death on your your hard CC tanks. You're going to want to build Totem of Death on your Kabrakan, your let's see. You're gonna want to run this on Cerberus, because Cerberus has natural magical protection shred as well, which is also very crazy. So yeah, you're this isn't exclusive. This isn't gonna be exclusive to the god that actually is applying it. So not only are tanks going to still be doing the same shit, right? But you're also boosting the damage from your team as well. Okay? Tanks are going to be doing basically true damage. So why I'm saying this is because Execution and Totem of Death, you apply this with items like Void Shield, right? You apply this with items like Void Shield. Let me find it here. Void Shield. Void. I can't spell with a crap. There we go. Void. Void Shield. Enemies within specific meters have their physical protections reduced. And the same with Void Stone. Bro. And then you pair that up. And then you pair all that up with an item like Stone and Binding. We're still going to be seeing a tank meta because they're not thinking about this. Your good players are going to be abusing Exi and Totem of Death. Obviously, you don't build both these because they don't stack, assuming. So say that I'm playing Kabrakan. I'm gonna build into Warrior's Axe. I'm gonna build into my prosthetic, and then I'm gonna, just for a little extra poke, I'm gonna build Totem of Death. And then I'm gonna pop on a I don't know, a Stone of Binding, and then I'll pop in a Berserkers, and then I'm gonna be popping on a Void Shield and a Void Stone to reduce their protections even further. And then you can run basically whatever else you want in your build, right? Like this does nothing. And they're lower. Oh my God. They're nerfing protections, quote unquote. Right, you can see all of it here. They're nerfing the protections and everything, but it doesn't matter. Squishies are going to be in the same situation where tanks are just going to still outtrade them. I promise you, it's going to be the same situation. They did nerf the damage on Shield Splitter, but I feel like you're still going to pick this up, and if you don't, I think the new tank meta is just going to be you building all the protection shred. You're just going to want to build all the protection shred in the game. Bro, none of this matters at all. So, yeah. That's my thoughts with this patch. This is going to be going live Monday. And Tuesday, me and Broly are going to be doing a stream. I'm going to try to do different matches where I play a damage, and then I'm going to play a tank. So just to see if this really did do anything. I have a gut feeling it's not. But, you know, we'll play it by ear. We'll see. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys found this video insightful, informative, whatever. And I think I'm going to start doing this a little bit more often, only because the first video I did seemed to do pretty well. I have like 300 or so people that seem to really appreciate that video. Like right here, like 309 people seem to like the video, and averaging about the same amount of views that I typically would get. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace!